in store for us here tonight. Are you ready to praise God tonight, y'all? Well, hey, my name is Garrett, and I get the honor of calling Forrest friend and being here tonight with you here in Hershey, PA. We're so grateful to be here tonight. But if I can be honest with you tonight, the past couple of years for my family have been incredibly difficult. Our youngest son, Wyatt, was born with a rare genetic disease, and from day one, our son has had to fight. And we have had to fight for him as parents. Things went from bad to worse when he was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And I'll never forget the moment recently when our son rang the bell. We celebrated, we praised, we're so grateful. We thought we thought it was finally over. But just a couple weeks ago, before I took a stage like tonight, we got a call from the doctors that the cancer is back. Oh. And yet this sounds scary. I'm here to tell you tonight that our family is full of hope. Because we have hope in Jesus, the ultimate healer, the author of our story. And we're so grateful for the medical professionals that the Lord has placed in our lives. We're so grateful for the nurses, the first responders, the doctors, the hospitals. We're so grateful to live in this incredible country that we live in here. Y'all, we're so thankful for that. I remember my wife looking at me and saying, Garrett, I couldn't imagine if our son was born anywhere else, because the reality of it is Wyatt probably would not be here today. And that's the reality that Helena was facing. See, Helena was a 17-year-old girl who had the opportunity to meet in Tanzania, Africa, who was fighting for her life. She was so sick she could barely walk. She could barely get out of bed because her heart was failing. See, Helena and her family had no resources, no help. And they lived 800 miles to the nearest hospital. But get how cool this is. Because someone like you heard her story. They chose to fight for her through something called child sponsorship. She was able to get an ambulance to come, pick her up, drive her 800 miles to that hospital, and they performed an emergency open heart surgery, and it saved Helena's life, y'all. Now Helena is back in school, receiving an education, and has a hope for a future. Helena told me that miracles happen when kindness meets obedience. I'm here to let you know tonight, Hershey, PA, that anything is possible with a little bit of fight. But don't just take my word for it. I had the opportunity to meet Johanna, a 14-year-old kid, the same age as some of y'all tonight, whose life has been changed forever because of this. Check this out real quick.
If the person who was your sponsor was here, what would you say to that person if you saw them face to face?
I would tell him, say thank you for what he or she has done. Thank you very much. Because if it's not him or her, I don't know where will I be now.
You know, when I leave my family, we have 3 kids, and Forrest goes on the road, not just to sing another song, but because the work is so far from over. And we're gonna keep talking about this until every single person experiences gospel and hears the good news of Jesus, every tribe, every tongue, every nation, because my friends, this is the great mission, and we are the Jesus generation. And I was reminded of that reality when I met Mary, a single mom, just like my mom was. A widow doing the best that she can, but unfortunately her best is just not good enough. Mary told me that she's had no one left to fight for them ever since her husband has died. Mary and her family have no electricity, no running water. By our standards, they have nothing. They live in a little mud hut smaller than my wife and I's bedroom. And the only meal her baby twins have ever eaten is a little bit of flour mixed with some dirty rainwater. See, Mary is quite literally starving to death. So as a mother, she was so malnourished that she had no supply to be able to feed her baby twins. I asked them where did she get their water, and that's when they said Esther, her daughter, that 7-year-old beautiful child of God you see. At 7 years old, Esther walks 14 miles every single day to get water. And in the dry season, Esther at 7 she walks up to 20 miles. So I said, okay, if Esther could do it at 7, I could do it. They wouldn't let me. You know why? They said it was too dangerous, you can't make the walk. I said, why is a 7-year-old girl doing it? So we had to drive in our vehicles and meet halfway there. When we got there, my heart began to break because it's something I had never seen before. The water that these families were risking their lives to go get, well, it wasn't even drinkable. Donkeys and animals were literally using the bathroom right next to this water, and they were contaminating it. So at 7 years old, this child of God is having to make the decision, do I go thirsty tonight? Or do I keep drinking this water that's going to keep making me sick? A decision that no one should ever have to make. And the worst part about it is the fact that she's risking her life to make this awful decision. Oftentimes, these kids never make the journey back home because they end up getting kidnapped and forced into trafficking, forced into marriages at single-digit ages, something that no one should ever have to go through. And I'm telling you tonight, I got 3 kids, like I said earlier, and there's no way I'd let my kids go through it. You know why? I'd fight for them. If you're a parent here tonight, you do the same for yours. You do the same for your friends, for your spouse, the person next to you. Why? Because that's the Jesus generation way. And I'm thinking to myself, who is fighting for them? They told me that for $1 and some pennies a day, they don't gotta live like this no more. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm not killing it by no means, but I can do that. So I looked at this starving mother and I said, Mary, I want you to know that your days of going hungry are over. Mary, I want you to know, Mama, that your days of worrying about your daughter walking 20 miles, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because me and my family want you to know that you are worth fighting for. In Jesus' generation, in that moment, me and my family sponsored Mary, Esther, and the twins. Would you guys give it up for my friends tonight? Woo! Esther, she's not walking 14 miles to get water. Esther now, she's got a clean water well in her neighborhood. Esther's now able to go to school and have an education. Mary, as a mom, she's able to put her head down every night knowing that her babies are okay. The greatest gift any parent could ever ask for. They're experiencing the hope and the good news of Jesus. It's changing their lives, but it's not just changing their life, it's changing my family's life. Me and my family, we write letters back and forth to Mary, Esther, and the twins. My daughter, Ellen Grace, writes letters, and my sons, Walker and Wyatt, well, God bless them, they try their best. But as a father, I'm able to teach my kids what it looks like to be the hands and feet of Jesus. As a father, I'm able to lead my family in the power and the faithfulness and generosity. It's changing the conversations around our dinner table. It's changing the way my 7-year-old prays at bedtime. And this was all possible not because me and my family are holier than holy. I promise you we're not. All we did was reprioritize our monthly spending. We looked at something called a budget. It's $39 a month when you believe in a child through World Vision. There's no contract. You can do this for however long you're able to do it for, but it does require one thing, and that's something Helena and my son Wyatt remind me every single day, and that it takes just a little bit of faith and a little bit of fight. Something that I know every single person has here tonight. And something practical me and my family do, we just skip going out to eat once a month. Skip going out to eat once a month. All we do is eat food we already have in our fridge and in our pantry, because parents, let's be honest, we know we're about to go out to eat way more than just once a month. I know my daughter's going on some Christian chicken, the gospel burger, the Chick-fil-A sauce. My little boy's gonna want some Chipotle. Wyatt's gonna want a cake pop at Starbucks. So we skip going out to eat once a month. So Mary and her family never have to skip another meal in their life. Mary and her family go from hopelessness to hope. Mary and her family hear the gospel and the good news of Jesus, because I need you to catch this tonight. We're not just changing lives, but we're changing eternity. And I don't know about you, Hershey, PA, but I want to make heaven more crowded. Does anybody want to make heaven more crowded? But I'm not here to do the math for you, because the math is really simple. Are you ready? We are blessed to be a blessing. We are the church, not a building, not a location, but you and I, we are the church. And you know what the church does? Well, we love God and we love people. We are the Jesus generation. Do I got any Jesus generation people here tonight at the Forest?
Yeah!
Last year, on the Child of God tour with Forrest Frank, we had a goal to sponsor an entire country. And guess what, y'all? The Child of God tour, they did it. They sponsored over 10,000 kids.
Wow.
Our team just got back from Tanzania, Africa with an update that the Child of God tour made happen. Check this update out real quick, y'all, from last year.
Hello, Forrest Frank. I'm here to say thank you so much, and thank you so much to your friends. All available kits were sponsored last year. We were able to accomplish many things in my country. We were able to bring clean water in school compounds, clean water in communities. We were able to equip health centers with medical equipment, build classrooms where now kids have a good learning environment. But there's still a lot to be done, and we're calling upon your partnership to support kids that still live in vulnerable communities so that we can together transform their lives.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but did you know that the Jesus Generation Tour, the tour that you're at right now, is the largest and the biggest Christian music tour in history? So tonight, on the Jesus Generation Tour, we wanted to do something historic. We don't want to just sponsor one country. Tonight we have a goal to sponsor every single kid that is waiting to be sponsored in every single country around the world, because Jesus is for every nation. And we want to live out what Jesus calls us to do in Matthew. And that's to go make disciples of all nations. In order for us to do that, we have a goal tonight to see 1,000 kids go from hopelessness to hope. We have a goal tonight to see 1,000 kids fought for and to experience the gospel and the good news of Jesus. Y'all, if you look around this stadium tonight, there's almost 30,000 people in attendance tonight. The other night in New York City, with 10,000 less people than right now, New York City sponsored over 1,600 kids in the name of Jesus. I don't know about you, but I think with 30,000 people, I think we can beat New York City, and I think we can sponsor 2,000 kids. I know that's a really big goal, but we got a really big God. Do you believe that tonight?
Yeah!
When you join Forrest Frank and fight for a child of God, just in a moment, your name and your photo are going to fill up these LED screens beside me and above me. And when we hit our goal, I need this entire stadium to throw the craziest praise party, because we're about to rejoice with the angels in heaven and see thousands of kids step into freedom. Are you ready, Jesus Generation?
Yeah!
Every single person that fights for a child of God, you are going to get this Jesus Generation Tour bracelet. This bracelet is a gift from Forrest Frank to you to say thank you for living your worship out and being the Jesus Generation. We are all fighting for something. Tonight, let's be the Jesus Generation that fights for them.
I am a judge of school.
It's their own language.
Jesus Generation, when you love somebody, you fight for him. Tonight, I'm asking you to show the love of Jesus and to fight for a child of God. Are you ready, Hershey, PA?
Yeah! at home.
We are changing generations.
They got
Big obligation.
Jesus says, whatever you do
Me
unto
and
the
Nemo.
least of these,
Huh?
you
We
do
finance.
unto me.
We sponsor
We are
this.
literally living out what Jesus
So is
said
it?
in
When
Matthew,
you go to
to take
Australia,
care
girls,
of the widows and the orphans. I don't know about you, but in the early church in Acts, when the Christians saw a need, they met it. Tonight, I'm asking you to live your worship out and to fight for a child of God. What would it look like to fight for a child of God, for your son, for your daughter? Me and my family, we sponsor 2 kids for each and every one of our kids. I don't say that as a flex. I just say that we're just doing what Jesus has called all of us to do. This is our opportunity to be the Jesus generation for every nation. All you have to do is simply raise your hand and we will get you a packet in your hand. There's almost 30,000 people in this place tonight. I believe tonight, full of faith, we can break the record and sponsor almost 2,000 kids. If you don't have anybody coming to you right now with a picture folder, what I need you to do is I need you to take your phone out. Take your phone out, Jesus Generation, and scan the QR code on the screen to my left or above me. Take your phone out, scan that QR code, fill out the information. It'll take you 30 seconds. Your name and your photo will fill up this screen, and then you can go get your Jesus Generation for Every Nation bracelet from a volunteer. All we need you to do, this is the only packet for this kid, okay? So make sure you fill out the information via the QR code on this packet. It'll take you 30 seconds. There's almost 30,000 people in this place tonight. I believe we can surpass the goal.
$40
And when
a month.
we do, let's
I'm not
celebrate
doing
that
that.
all over this place. God bless you. Let's fill those screens up with your name and your photos and celebrate with the angels in heaven tonight. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining Forrest Frank, being the Jesus Generation for Every Nation. Make sure you scan that QR code. Love you guys. We're going to take a brief intermission. See you guys.